Hey wrestling fans, welcome to another episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic for Saturday evening, September 10th, 2016. And on today's episode, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what went on in the last week of pro wrestling. And I'm going to start off with Thursday, TNA Impact Wrestling. Delete or Decay, the sequel to the final deletion, with Broken Matt Hardy, Brother Nero, taking on DK, Abyss, Crazy Steve, and Rosemary, and of course, Broken Matt Hardy's wife Rebecca, his son King Maxwell, Senior Benjamin, were all involved in this one. And of course, Vanguard won. And I loved the final deletion. I thought it was great. And I thought Delete or Decay was also great. Very entertaining. And I thought everybody was great in this. Broken Matt Hardy, Brother Nero. And then there was even an appearance by Joseph Park. And then he was tased by Senior Benjamin. And then I thought Vanguard 1 was great. He stopped Rosemary when she was trying to kidnap King Maxwell. And Broken Matt Hardy is able to stop her. She shoots the mist, goes in his mouth, and he spits it right back at her. And he is with King Maxwell and Queen Rebecca. But then we see Crazy Steve. And a little earlier on, Jeff Hardy took Janice to the gut, saving his brother. And then we see Crazy Steve in the back of the truck with Senior Benjamin, and the whole thing is just great. If you haven't seen it yet, you can check out the director's cut actually on YouTube on the Pop TV channel, and also I'm sure TNA will probably post it on their YouTube channel as well. But like I said, the whole thing was great. Delete or Decay. But I know there are a lot of TNA haters who will probably hate it because they hate everything TNA does. No matter what TNA does, those idiots are going to hate it. But to be honest, I thought it was great. And also, to talk a little bit more about TNA, it was announced by TNA President Billy Corgan, the TNA Impact Wrestling Grand Championship. Now, I like the design of the belt, actually. I think it looks pretty good. But so far, I really don't care for the concept of the championship. The rules of the title matches. 3 rounds. 3 minutes, and there's judges scoring points, and the match can end anytime via pinfall or submission. But if the match goes the 3 rounds, the judges will decide the winner. And so far, I'm really not too crazy about this idea. You never know, maybe it'll grow on me and I'll enjoy it. But as of right now, I really don't care for it too much. But I'll see how it goes, and you never know. Maybe it'll be great. Who knows? And we saw highlights from the press conference focusing on the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match coming up at Bound for Glory. Lashley defending against EC3. I think that should be a good match. And looking forward to Bound for Glory. But it's going to be kind of funny, though, that their biggest pay-per-view of the year is going to be held at the Impact Zone. Because I know the first Bound for Glory in 2005 was held in the Impact Zone, but since then, it's been held in other cities. In 2006, right here in Michigan in Plymouth at the CompuAir Arena. So, but with TNA's financial problems right now, they're not able to travel to any other cities. And now, let's talk about tomorrow night's pay-per-view coming up, Backlash, available on the WWE Network. And it is presented by SmackDown Live. And I think it could be a pretty good show. And we will see a match, tag team action, the Usos, who recently turned heel on SmackDown Live and they've taken out American Alpha out of the match to determine the new SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. They will be taking on the Hype Bros to see who will go on in the finals of the tournament to face Heath Slater and Rhino. And the winners of that match will become the new SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. I gotta go with Heath Slater and Michigan's own Rhino in this one. But I did like the heel turn from the Usos the other night on SmackDown Live last Tuesday. And I'm not a fan of the Hype Bros. I usually try not to be too negative on things like most of the internet wrestling fans. But with me, the Hype Bros, Mojo Rawley, Zack Ryder, they have X-Pac heat, I guess you could say. And then also the match 6-pack challenge to determine the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion. Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, Naomi, Natalya, Carmella, and Alexa Bliss will all be competing for that championship. And for my picks in this one, I have to go with either Becky or Naomi as far as ones that I would like to see win. But to be honest, I wouldn't really be surprised if they put the title on Nikki Bella. But like I said, I would like to see either Becky or Naomi get the championship. And the Intercontinental Championship is on the line as The Miz defends against Dolph Ziggler. I was hoping Ziggler would have gotten the World Heavyweight Championship against Dean Ambrose and then would have been facing Styles tonight at Backlash, but unfortunately that did not happen. But I'm hoping they will put the IC title on Ziggler, but to be honest, I really don't think they will. I think they're going to have The Miz retain. Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. This one, I'm sure it'll be an okay match, but it's nothing that I'm real excited about, though. But, like I said, should be a good match. And the main event of the evening for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Dean Ambrose taking on the phenomenal AJ Styles. And this one, I gotta go with AJ Styles as my pick to win it. Or at least I hope they put the title on Styles. But should be a great main event with those two. And that is the card for tomorrow night's SmackDown Live's Backlash on the WWE Network. And also, tonight is CM Punk's debut for that boring garbage known as UFC. Of course, I will not be watching any of that nonsense. I'd rather watch paint dry than watch any boring MMA, but I gotta root for Punk in this one, though. Even though MMA is a bunch of garbage, all of MMA is. It's boring, it's ridiculous, but I am rooting for Punk anyway. And I just wish, though, he would return to pro wrestling where he belongs. Don't matter what company, he can come back. He can go back to Ring of Honor, try New Japan, wrestle small indies. I doubt that, though, but hey, come here to Michigan for Clash Wrestling. That's highly unlikely, but would be great, though. I would love to see it. And also, yesterday there was some unfortunate news. The passing of Lord Lillbrook, one of the most famous midget wrestlers, or little people wrestlers, should I say. I'm not sure what the right thing to say is, but he was definitely a legend in the wrestling business, and it's very sad. And that is all today for 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Hope to be back soon with more episodes. Thanks for listening today, episode 160. And before I go, remember you can like 360 Wrestling Podcast on Facebook and follow the show on Twitter at 360 Wrestling Pod. The Instagram is 360 Wrestling Podcast. And if you have any questions or comments, you can email lb360wrestlingfanatic at gmail.com. And I hope one day I'll bring back 360 TBT, where I look back at a past wrestling show. And if you have a suggestion of a show that I should go back and take a look at, once again, that is lb360wrestlingfanatic at gmail.com. And you can subscribe to 360 Wrestling Podcast on iTunes and Google Play. That's all for today. Hope to be back soon. But until then, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.